Then, on Sunday, September 27th, the video passed the million mark, along with getting 10,000 subscribers. What in the name of Hugh Jackman's back hair is going on here? Hey, howdy, partner. Welcome to I Will Thrive, episode 18. This little puppy's called How $2 Got Me 1 million views and 10,000 subscribers in 2 weeks on YouTube. Over the years, I've rubbed shoulders and worked with a number of insanely successful YouTubers. And honestly, this group of people fascinate me, both in terms of the success they've achieved and in some cases with the way that YouTube has ended up turning them into completely awful people. Like even bigger divas than some of the film stars I've interacted with. Regardless, I can't deny the jealousy sandwiches that I've eaten on occasion being around these super special fancy pants YouTube folks. I've mentioned it before, but it can be a difficult endeavor to be in the presence of someone that's already living the life that you've dreamt for yourself, but you've been unable to achieve thus far. The ideology of being able to live off of what I'm most passionate about, primarily music and film and helping people, is a disease I've been infected with for a very long time, way before YouTube existed. The trouble is I was ill-equipped to close the gap and turn that desire and determination into actual results. I've created an unbelievable amount of stuff over the years. Maybe you missed that one, but I wrote an entire essay on some of my crazy ideas and how I once lost $20,000 on one dumb idea. But I Will Thrive is my life now. It's who I am. I'll find a way to get the results I desire, no matter what it takes. And it may seem completely over the top, but I have completely immersed myself in the I Will Thrive mentality. I've made a t-shirt, I've made stickers, posters, and song playlists. I've blasted that message in every direction of my life, in my head, physically around me, in every way that I can think of. I named my blog, podcast, YouTube project the same name. Can you imagine that? I have over 30 years of faulty wiring to overcome, my head being filled with these crappy default ways of thinking about myself that are severely limiting and untrue, and they've got to kick the frickin' curb and get out. The really interesting part about this is when you actually start changing your mindset, things start happening. Like you start seeing things that you would have missed otherwise, and it's uncanny. It's almost straight up weird. And I have to admit, I thought the law of attraction stuff was a little cheesy when I was first exposed to it about a year ago, especially after watching the film The Secret. I laughed out loud a few times because of how over-dramatized several moments of that production were. I highly considered finding a pirated version of the movie so I could create my own edit of the moments I liked, and also so I could have a version that I could share with my wife, because she wouldn't last 5 minutes through that hyper-drama stuff. The Secret. Even then, the day after watching it, I made a visualization board for myself, and I started implementing some of the ideas that I liked. Seeing your future self as if you had already attained your dreams made sense to me, and being more mindfully grateful seemed like a great idea too. Then 2020 brought the pandemic, and I was laid off from my day job. But I resolved to create businesses to attempt to never return to the corporate world ever again. As a quick side note, those of you that have lost your jobs, be careful about how you phrase things. The other day I got this text from a buddy moments after I posted an update on Facebook. What I posted went as follows: I Will Thrive is one of the things I've created since getting laid due to the pandemic. He literally wrote me within like 2 seconds, and I'm kind of grateful he did because I could go back and actually add in the word off. So I was laid off on April 1st, 2020. I took a solid month off and just spent time with my family. Our 5th child had only been born 3 days earlier, and we were all still trying to wrap our heads around all the changes in our lives because of the pandemic. By the way, dear companies of the world, please find a way to terminate your employees on any other day of the year except for April 1st. It's pretty much the worst day in the history of mankind to do anything actually serious to people. So after the nice time with my family, I really started to have the itch to get back to doing something creative. And I've always managed to find time for writing scripts or music or YouTube projects previously, and I really needed to get back at it. The first thing I did was shoot a music video with my son Abe. He's a talented little bloke. He was born an entertainer. I don't know exactly how we landed on it, but I produced the music and recorded him singing a cover of Olaf's When I'm Older from Frozen 2.
So there's no need to be terrified or tense.
We uploaded the video to the strange land of YouTube, told some friends and family, and that was it. But it was really fun, and it's something I've always wanted to do with my son. That video, like hundreds of others, and I mean hundreds, didn't gain an overabundance of traction. YouTube is such a strange place. I've seen amazingly talented people get nowhere after years and years of posting, and then we've all seen the videos that explode, and we question why in the love nut butter sauce anyone would ever waste their time watching something like that. So with my first video release after the layoff, and I'm trying really hard to step back and be as objective as possible, I really thought the video turned out great. Okay, so if you're just sitting there and you're like, why doesn't this dang dude get to the point already? I kind of think the context and the backstory of all this really makes it all the more weird and interesting. So calm the heck right down. I'm getting there. I know, like anything, sometimes you just have to be persistent. The odds of putting up a video and having it explode are stupid rare. It can take years to build up a following for anything, and I've done that too. To illustrate where I'm coming from, I've been posting videos on YouTube for a decade. And holy crap, it's crazy. I actually had to look, but it's seriously been a decade. Most of the videos have either been in the comedy or the music space, and I've always known the odds of having a hit video, but you try and be a hopeful, creative person that someday maybe something that you've done will reach people. In that decade, between Facebook and YouTube, I've spent $9,578.76 on one thing. Any guesses? Every dime of that was spent trying to get my videos out to new fans to try and build up an audience. Now, I know that over 10 years, that doesn't really sound like a lot, but when you have a mortgage and new children popping up into existence faster than things that pop up really fast, any amount of money spent on extra stuff is serious. And I've really worked and hoped that one of my projects could take off so I could make creative work my life. In all the years, after all the content, until the past couple weeks, I've only ever had one video that had some organic reach. It's a comedy project I've been working on for 9 years with a buddy called The Fatty and Chubbs Show. Now, that particular video is all about two buddies joking around and trying to get in better shape while they're doing DDP yoga on camera. We're 7 days into the challenge. 7 days. We're both still really fat, it turns out, which kind of sucks because that means...
John Denver's full of it.
Yeah. Within a day of uploading it, I could tell it was a little different. It had some organic reach that I'd never seen before, and it was fun to see. And it's still cool 3 years later. People are still watching it, laughing, and seeing some value in what we did. Yet, the Fatty and Chubbs YouTube channel hasn't even crossed the coveted threshold of 1,000 subscribers yet. After 9 years of work, we still really haven't reached that many people. And our most engaging Fat Guys Doing Yoga video, as of today, has somewhere around 53,000 views. While I do think it would have been cool to have seen more reach with this channel, I wouldn't change a thing, because this channel has given me more opportunities to do something fun and creative with a couple of my best friends. And in all fairness, we definitely have lacked the consistency that's vital to success on YouTube. Okay, so getting back to when I was canned, and the first thing that I did was upload that video with my son, and that was on May 2nd. The very next thing that I did was produce yet another video. And if you would have asked me a few months prior if it would have ever been something that I would have done, I probably wouldn't have believed you. It's not comedy. It's not a music video. Now, this goes right back again to seeing things differently when you change your mindset. I had a truly crazy experience, and the universe kind of just lined up for me to produce a video sharing someone else's story. His name's Scott Drummond. He's a great man, and he's actually a neighbor of mine. And one morning, he was out on a walk on a nearby river trail. We had a great discussion that morning, which then led us to work towards sharing his story. And I stepped into the shoes of an interviewer, which I had never done before. I won't go into any more details here on that, as you can go and check out the other channel if you're interested and you want the full backstory. But I created a brand new channel so his story could kind of have a home. The name of the channel was something that lined up in a crazy way too. A few months before I was laid off, I really started thinking about my life and my family. I really don't want to get to the end of this awesome ride of life and regret anything. And while I know what I want to achieve, and I know what's most important, I can't say that I've ever really written it down in a digestible way. So I created an article for myself that I called PYL, P-Y-L, meaning prioritize your life. And it ended up kind of being a life plan of sorts. And really, it makes sense. How can we stay on track with building our lives if we don't have a legit blueprint? I've actually already shared the financial health section of my life plan on a previous episode. And you can also see that in the financial tracker section of iwillthrive.blog. So I had the thought, I should just call this thing Prioritize Your Life. Scott's story was a moment in his life where everything shifted and he started truly putting his family first in his life. So we shot the video, I edited it up, and now we got a new rap song to work on. I edited it up, I edited it up, I edited it up. That was terrible. And we launched the story on May 27th, 2020. Now, this is where things get very interesting as far as the mechanics of YouTube is concerned, as well as the idea that if you create content that's truly compelling, it'll reach people. On the very first day, the video received 2,387 views. I was surprised. I had done nothing to tell anyone about the video. I later found out that Scott's wife had shared it with some family and friends on Facebook. Even then, for me, 2,000 views in a day was pretty awesome. The next day, it jumped up by thousands more, and it just kept growing and growing. As far as I could tell, it was all word of mouth and a little bit of viral goodness that was pushing up the views. As we hit the month mark of releasing the video, we were just under 50,000 views, and I was truly astonished. It took 3 years to get up to that same view count on the Fatty and Chubbs show for that silly yoga video. But then Scott's video flatlined, and I just figured that was it. It was getting a few hundred views a week, but it stayed in the 50,000 range for about 3 months. It was a different and great experience helping Scott, and we did make an impact on some lives in that month, and it's a great feeling to put something out into the world that can make a difference. And we also pissed some people off too, but that's life. On September 15th, I started thinking about the video and how it was the most successful thing I had ever put out. If there's more people out there that need to hear Scott's message, what can I do to get it out there, I wondered. Well, I had $2 left in the world that I could spend. I have a Patreon account for the I Will Thrive project and for my music. My awesome patrons give to my cause, which currently adds up to about $50 a month. I've been spending that money every month on marketing and to try and help build up the businesses that I'm hoping will help save my family, and also that will help save my soul and very existence from exploding into a bajillion pieces if I have to return to a desk job again. So I had spent $48 of the 50. So just like I had done so many times before, I jumped into my Google Ads account. I created a campaign to drive people to see Scott's video, the budget being $2 a day, which I would turn off after a day. What happened next, I still cannot believe to this day. In 3 days, the video had jumped up to 76,000. Whoa, I guess my $2 was well spent. But then things really started getting nutty. 2 more days passed, and on September 20th, we had 150,000 views. Okay, what is going on here? How is this happening? As I dug in to try and learn where all the traffic was coming from, I found that browsing features was the reason for the big jump. It kept growing exponentially. On September 24th, we crossed over 500,000 views. Then on Sunday, September 27th, the video passed the million mark, along with getting 10,000 subscribers. I can't believe it. The video is currently getting about 150,000 views a day. Scott's been talking with people all over the world about his experience, and we continue to inspire and piss people off in even higher numbers. So what in the name of Hugh Jackman's back hair is going on here? Maybe nothing, because I don't know if he has any back hair. Okay, what the heck was I talking about? Oh yeah, here's what I can deduce from all of this. YouTube is in the business of getting good content to the right people. If the videos are gelling with the viewers, then they'll keep watching, and that means more engagement, and that means more ad revenue. My cute little $2 was just the little kick YouTube's algorithm needed to see that our video was getting the kind of engagement that they want to see. Outside of that, I have no freaking idea what's going on here. I mean, it's unreal. But this has also led me to believe that to an extent, truly compelling content really does have a better chance of YouTube patting you on the back and pushing your content up in the algorithms. Either really bad or really good content will probably win. As long as people watch it and comment the pounded beefsteak out of it, YouTube will be your friend. It's way different from how I ever expected to have content get to the masses. I always assumed I'd have to get lucky with a celebrity sharing it or a news organization or something like that. Or that it would have been the standard idea of a viral video and people just share it to each other and then it snowballs. In my case, it was none of that. It was YouTube thinking of its own best interests and my video magically meeting the criteria. Interesting to note here, I recently bumped into an important man in my life. He's my childhood's best friend's dad, and I've looked up to him my entire life as an example of what it means to be a good man. Now, this was right before the big explosion of views, and he mentioned to me that he thought I made the video as an attempt to just make money because it was so soon after I was laid off. And it kind of caught me off guard. I've never really created anything with the intent of just making money, though I can't say that I haven't hoped that it could turn into money. Pretty much any project I've ever worked on, I had that hope. I just desperately want to have a life of creating art instead of having Blaine, who's my old boss, tell me the crap that I need to do a better job at next week. However, for the first time in sharing Scott's story, there was no intention of money at all in any direction. I was just led to share the story. It's so weird how things work out sometimes. The one thing that I've done since getting laid off that wasn't to make money is the thing that's going to do just that. To my fellow struggling creative people, I just want to say I'm here for you. I know what it's like. Keep going. It took a decade of work to finally have one video that's truly reached people. Also, I know you've heard it before, but you've got to start with your mindset. As cheesy as some of it is, go and watch The Secret and start becoming who you envision. And heck, come and join me and start making this idea of I Will Thrive something for you too. I'm hoping that I just didn't come up with this I Will Thrive thing just for myself because I think it's kind of sweet and it's kind of a sweet shirt. I have a super long way to go. I made a vow that I'm not cutting my hair until I make $1 million from the businesses I'm building. I've got feature films to make. I've got songs to record. But most importantly, I need to be here to provide for my family and be the man that they all deserve. And I tell you, I've never felt better in my life. In the middle of a pandemic and worldwide uncertainty, I've never been more certain in my life. Finally, don't be afraid to spend your last $2. It could turn into something amazing. Thank you so much for watching, for listening, for subscribing. I'd be honored for you to be my king or queen or something in between on Patreon. I will thrive. And go watch The Secret so you can find out all of the greatest secrets and the secretiness of the true secrets so you can become who you truly want to become, because it's a secret.